Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's, or this month's food forum, and we're already in June. It's my birthday month, so I don't want that reminded because I don't like getting older. My body tells me that I'm older every day, and that's enough of a reminder. With that being said, let me introduce you to the panel that we have today. First and foremost, we have our well-renowned Joe Lewis. Sitting on the end.
Thank you.
We have our new clubhouse manager, Kevin Callahan.
Yay!
Yes. And his name is not Mike, it's not Butch, Devon, Calvin, it's Kevin. And then most of you people recognize this beautiful smiling face as Antoinette Mason, our manager in the bistro.
Yes.
And she's real excited. She loves being on camera right now. So
Real.
any extra questions you have directed to Antoinette will be highly praised.
Please don't.
So yeah, we're just getting together. Joseph's on vacation this week, so the inmates are running the asylum, if you will. So that's why we've got some different fun food going on. We started a brunch without him, and that's where I want to start first. It's been such a long time since we've been able to do a brunch, and to actually start it off this past Sunday, every employee we had were so looking forward to being here. I actually had employees that were mad that they were off this weekend because they wanted to see your guys' reaction to having the brunch back. It brings us one step closer to feeling normal again. And I think we all embraced it to the point of no return because I think we set the bar pretty high with that first one. I think it was really, really nice. What we're going to do every week is post the menu out in front of the Water's Edge where we have our specials menu. So we're going to be on a 4-week rotation like we used to be. So 1 week we'll have prime rib, 1 week we'll have ham, the next week we'll have tenderloin. And because right now the poultry market is crazy, we can't really get bone-in turkeys. So I took it upon myself to go ahead and say, let's do omelets. Ooh. So we're going to have an omelet station in that 4th week in the rotation. So it should be fun, something different. But all the menus are done. I've got them all priced out, recipes done, and I think Whitney has them all going up onto CareMerge pretty shortly as well. So you should have all your nutritional facts and everything else, and should be fun. We're just really, really glad to have that aspect of life back. And then once we can get to the point where we start allowing guests in, it's going to feel like pure chaos again, which is what we love. But right now, I'm going to turn over. Right now, I'm going to turn the floor over to Kevin. Let him kind of introduce himself and tell you all about where he's been, what he's done, what his goals are, what his favorite color is, what he likes to drink, all that good stuff. So, Kevin, take it away, my friend.
All right, good morning, everybody. My name is Kevin Callahan, and I've been in the business for roughly 22 years. Right before I came here to River Landing, I was at Colonial Country Club in Thomasville. I was the food and beverage manager. I was there for about 6 months, but it wasn't my journey. It was just a kind of a step after this COVID. And when I saw the position here at River Landing and I interviewed, I couldn't, pass it down. I mean, it's a beautiful place. Since I've gotten here, everybody's been so welcoming, and it really makes you feel like we're all a family. So before COVID, I was at the Benton Convention Center, the Marriott, and the Embassy Suites in downtown Winston. I was there for 18 years. I was the director of event operations. So I have a lot of knowledge in the event side, the food and beverage side, hospitality, and I want to take all my experiences and bring it here to make the clubhouse the best place it'll be. I believe that it's like one of those hidden gems, especially when we open to the public. We have some good future plans for it to kind of bring in the event side of it on the T-side room, or if we can utilize the pub or the overlook for events. We just want to be able to put us out there to the public and draw them in. I think it'll be, a great opportunity for just not the clubhouse, but for the dining, but also for all of us here at River Landing. And that's pretty much it right now.
You didn't mention your favorite color or your favorite drink.
Favorite
Those
color
were two
is
things
red.
that I specified.
Yeah.
I do love red. My favorite drink, it depends on the day. I'm not a coffee drinker. I am an energy drinker. So I will have those bad things everybody will tell me, Red Bulls, Monster drinks, whatever it is. It just depends on the day. That's what I'll have. The Red Bulls give you wings. So, I want to fly.
You want to talk about your experience? You're a graduate of Johnson & Wales, am I
Yes,
right?
I did graduate from Johnson & Wales. I have an associate's in culinary arts. So I went to school for cooking, but I choose not to cook. I leave that for my wife at home. But if I have to jump in, I have the skills to jump in wherever is needed. And then I went to Charleston at Johnson & Wales to get my bachelor's in food service management. It was a great experience. Would I go back? Yes. Just to kind of refresh the skills and take everything that you learned, and knowing where my journey is now, what I could take from it then to bring it back with me now would be a great experience.
Well done. We're going to talk about Sunday. I worked Sunday in the Water's Edge. I think it was great. Had a good 159, 165 residents come in. I had no negativity as far as the food. The presentation that you guys did, Chef, was wonderful. Residents really, really enjoyed themselves. For me to be here on that Sunday to see the family back together was overwhelming. I loved it, loved every bit of it. And I hope we keep doing that Sunday by Sunday. I think Chef said on that fourth Sunday we might do a working station, omelet station. When he says that, in other words, we'll be cooking omelets to order. Am I right? Mm-hmm. So that's even hotter, fresher product. We might have to have something already pre-made. So I hope you all really enjoy it because I think you deserve it.
All right, so Antoinette Mason, for those of you who don't know her, she's going to speak now for 10 minutes about her past and what things she loves about River Landing. And
Chef, you wasn't here.
all right, maybe not.
No.
No. Is there anything in the bistro that you want to bring up potentially that started maybe on the 2nd of June?
The salad bar. I think everyone's enjoying the salad bar being back. Hopefully the hot bar in July.
Actually, that's the tentative date for July the 12th.
back,
We think
so-
about the hot
And
bar.
the reason for that is I'm on vacation. The first part, well, my daughter has a dance recital, so I'm not going to be here the beginning part of the first week of July, and I didn't want to start it without me being here. I didn't want to put the added pressure onto my staff. I didn't want to put the added pressure onto these guys, and I didn't want to put out a product that I wasn't happy with for you guys. So that's why it's kind of a funky little start date. That was just the first week that we could kind of have everybody together to be able to do it right.
And we have the tentative date for 8/2 when your guests and our family and friends can come join us. Once again, these tentative dates, so hopefully everything go to plan. It depends on this COVID and everything. Oh, so we'll be back up running for, I believe the Healthcare Bistro opened up yesterday, am I right,
Yes,
Chef?
it did.
It's gorgeous up there, so if you have friends at healthcare, I believe in a couple more weeks or maybe a month, you all can join them. Instead of trying to all rush down to our regular bistro, you can go up there and visit and have a lunch or dinner with them also. So I did want to mention the Healthcare
Yeah,
Bistro.
I'm not sure exactly when the date is allowing that, but yeah, I know they had their grand opening yesterday, which was kind of a fun little event, just to see all the tables in there and the residents in there, and there was a little electricity in the air, and it just felt like kind of a fun little thing, and it was just really neat to see. It really was.
I have only one note. Joseph left for me. It was talking about one of the residents was talking about the sausages, Italian sausage. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Well, one of the residents had written an email about why we don't use authentic sausages for authentic recipes, because we did a ravioli and we had a smoked sausage in it. The reason behind that is most Italians, or almost all Italian sausage I've ever seen is pork-based. We've got a lot of residents that are trying to eliminate pork from their diet, or cut back on the amount of pork that they use. We're not opposed to using Italian sausage, and we will use it from time to time, but we've had quite a few residents ask for either all beef or all chicken or all turkey, little cleaner sausage product, and that smoked sausage is a beef sausage. And as far as some of the other, I think the other thing that was mentioned was the flatbread that we ran in the Water's Edge, and that was just a fusion cuisine to begin with. We took garlic naan, which is, you know, Indian. We took Alfredo sauce, which is Italian. We took the smoked sausage, which is kind of German, and then we added all kinds of fun stuff to it. So it was a hodgepodge of all kinds of cuisine to begin with. And I really, since we had the capicola, which was fatty, I wanted something that was a little leaner as far as the sausage on there. And that's why I went with the beef smoked sausage. So it might not make sense sometimes, but there's generally a rhyme or a reason as to why we do something. But that's why we communicate. That's why we allow everyone to email us, and you know, I'll stop and talk to any one of you at any given point about any quality concerns that you have, because you know, you don't know what I'm thinking. You don't know what someone else is thinking. So the more dialogue we can have, the better off we're going to be.
We encourage you all to go on Kermerge on the dining for anything positive or negative or corrective criticism. Write it down. It goes to these 4 people here, including our director, Mr. Joseph Burdett. So we are open-minded. We had a resident come in Sunday. We had the chicken Marcella. They wanted it now as a feature. I said I would speak to Chef. Chef think that's a good idea. So whatever you all ask us to do, we might not do it right then, but within our 3 restaurants, the clubhouse, it'll be there down to some types of vegetables.
Yeah, the one thing that I don't think anyone understands is for us to be able to get the nutritionals and everything out on Kermerge, because we're getting a lot of pressure about people want to know the caloric intake and everything else, that takes an insane amount of time. So most of our menus are written almost a month or a little bit more out ahead of time, so that we have an ample amount of time to source products, get the nutritional information, get the things in the system, and that also leads to a couple times that you'll see that, you know, if we spec'd a certain fish, that fish might not be available in a month, just depending on what's local and what's fresh. So there will be some subtle changes to that, but yeah, for the most part, if you make a suggestion, and I say, okay, well, I'll put it on the next menu, that might be 2 months down the road, that menu that I'm writing, so.
All right. Chef, anything else? Well, I want to say personally, I do appreciate everything you all have given us fortitude to do in the dining rooms, the bistro, and the clubhouse. Thank you for your patience. We almost where we want to be. The Wayfair, what's the ideal date for that, Chef?
I'm not exactly sure. We want to see, right now I think everyone knows that there's some handcuffs in our industry and nationwide. We want to see how we can handle guests and everybody being on property before we commit to opening another venue. It will open by the end of the year. I feel 100% confident in that. It just might be October. Who knows? We just want to know that we're going to be able to do it right when we do it. But I do know that our first menu will be steakhouse.
Oh, yeah.
So cream spinach.
What's the name of that
steaks.
restaurant?
The Wayfair.
No, okay. JJJ?
That was the first steakhouse. That was JJ&J.
Not K?
Yeah, no.
Oh. All right. Anyone have any questions for us? Ms. Edwards?
I have a couple questions, sorry.
That's okay.
I'm sorry, only one per person. No, I'm kidding.
I'll whisper in somebody else. Are we going to be able to go back to the comment cards on the tables? I have heard people say that they would like to see those returned.
I do have them. I would check with my director and just see. I think it's still that we're still sharing pencils and cards, everybody touching the same thing. I don't know you. I can check with him when he comes back. That's a good question.
And what type of items will we have on the new hot bar?
Well, I'm working on finalizing that now. It's going to be some favorites. I know I've got like the Moravian chicken pie on there, the chicken cordon bleus. I know we'll have chicken wings, fried chicken on Tuesdays. We'll have, yeah, I mean, we're gonna do all kinds of stuff, but we're also gonna throw in some kind of stations. So we might have like a mashed potato bar, where you've got like 10, 12 toppings for mashed potatoes, and you've got 2 or 3 different types of mashed potatoes. And I was thinking of a sausage bar where we've got, all kinds of cooked peppers, onions, mushrooms, grilled sausages, and roasted sausages, and just some different kind of things. But yeah, not all that's finalized yet, but I'm getting close.
Last thing I'll bother you with. The Water's Edge has had instant mashed potatoes.
No. I promise. We have not had instant mashed potatoes. The only thing I use instant mashed potatoes for is the potato soup. That's the only time I've ever used an instant mashed potato for the Water's Edge.
There was one evening when the 3 of us at the table who got mashed potatoes swore up and down that they were instant.
Yeah, I mean, maybe there was a point at the end of the night where they ran out, and maybe somebody took it upon themselves to mix them up, but I will make sure that they are well aware that is not an option. I would rather 86 mashed potatoes, right. I would rather 86 mashed potatoes than serve instant mashed potatoes. So I'll look into that, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Right behind Ms. Edwards.
I have 2 questions. First of all, I'm kind of new, so this is why I'm asking this question. You've introduced the 3 panelists. Who are you?
Oh, wow.
I am
I'm so sorry.
I am no one of any relevance whatsoever. So the quicker you realize that, the better off you're gonna be.
We apologize.
I'm James Galena, I'm the executive chef. I run,
All food.
yeah, I kind of handle the menus and the ordering and I've got my pinky in everything food-wise here. So, yeah, I'm the guy to go to.
And my other question is, all too often, we get food delivered to us or handed to us that's not hot.
That's a real
For case in point, even yesterday, the flatbread that my husband got, the cheese was melted, but it wasn't hot.
Was that a deliver or was that,
No, we were there.
really?
Here.
In the bistro.
I can second that. It's been a real problem in the bistro, even in the other restaurants. Bistro alone.
I know it's hot, we're cooking it all fresh back in the Water's Edge. I know it's hot when we put it on plates. I don't know. I mean, I can start doing a temp sheet that every time we put a plate in and send it out, we know exactly what the temp of the product is. Yeah.
In the bistro, could it be, I mean, you have the hot thing that you put, I don't know what you call that thing, if you have mashed potatoes, you have this big.
Hot well.
Yeah, that you use as servers. Is that thing inconsistently hot?
No.
I mean,
No, but you can also not turn it up to 250 degrees to where it will just incinerate anything that's in there. There's a nice little balance there. If you get it to about 150 degrees, the product stays kind of fresh, but it's not destroying the product as well. So there's a little line there on that.
Ms. Pearson, yes, ma'am.
I have one positive, one negative. The positive one is the bass that you had last week was fabulous.
Up at the clubhouse?
It was
Good.
wonderful. It was very expensive, but it was worth it once a month to have something very, very special.
Mhm.
It was beautiful.
so is the soup.
Yeah.
That cherry soup. Oh, yeah, it was good.
And the negative side is when you call up and make reservation, sometimes Cindy comes up and she talks forever and ever. I think we've been 1.5 years. We know exactly how to make reservation. We don't need her spiel.
So in other words, we need to have Cindy,
Oh, well,
your reservation line. It's so much information, they don't need all that information.
Yes.
All you need is the time, the date, and how many people in your party. That
The,
sounds about right?
the thing with that, and I can speak to it, is it's not for the 95% that message is on there for. It's the 5% that constantly don't follow the directions and the instructions. It's like the times when you're in gym class that you all have to run laps because the one kid wouldn't shut up. It's the same kind of feel for that, but we'll see if we can shorten it in any way, shape, or form.
It's like a shortcut. Mary Jane said there is
You
a
hit the
shortcut.
one on your phone, and it goes right.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll find out from Cindy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Speaking of reservations, I was gonna say something last month, but we didn't have it. We know that, a certain time residents wanna come in. Let's say any given night, most of the time our reservations are from 5:15 to about 6:30. It'll help us out as, the people receiving the call. If you don't get a certain time, we got some residents can be a little rude to the staff. I have experienced myself, and I told my director I was gonna speak about it, he blessed it. If you don't get a certain time and you get a 15 minutes later or 15 minutes earlier than your time, just try to be respectful to the staff that's here. I have some people that's teenagers that might answer the phone, and some of our residents can be brutally mean to my coworkers. I don't want to get into details of what they say, but we have to be respectful to the staff here also. And it's just on the reservation side. For Sunday, I took reservation myself. I told the resident that time is filled. It's not fair. He called exactly at 9:02. But we could take reservation 3 days in advance now. You call me on a Tuesday, you can get Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. You call me on Thursday, you get Saturday, Sunday, Monday. It just fills up. We have a lot of residents here. We have a lot of residents want to come in and join themselves on this first Sunday buffet. And he or she wanted 12 o'clock. I didn't have a 12 o'clock. I had a 12:15. No later than 4 minutes later, my director got an email. I shared it with Chef. We just have to be patient. That's all I'm asking. I'm doing the best I can. I love my job. And I think I say that often. I just don't want a teenager to answer the phone and somebody come across abrupt. And I don't want nobody to go home and tell mom and daddy, I don't like my job because blah, blah, blah.
Someone called me a moron.
No, I don't think they say that. But nevertheless, just we have to be mindful. We do take reservations. We went from 4 slots to 6 slots. We added more on, and we also opened a little later on Sundays. Instead of 1:30, we close at 2 o'clock to try to get many residents in as possible. You do have to make reservation at the clubhouse for Sunday brunch. You have to make a reservation, am I right? We don't take walk-ins on
The
Sunday.
reason behind that too is we're very limited on our specials. So the people that walk in the bar during the week will generally allow them to get specials because we've got it prepped for the entire week. Well, if they're walking in on Sunday, they're taking a special out of a table that followed the rules and made a reservation, and it's one of those things that if you're walking in up there, you're taking food from somebody else sometimes, because we know that we're gonna do 68 people every Sunday up at the clubhouse. So we'll prep up 40 specials, knowing that, about 2/3 of everybody gets the specials. And then if we start getting people walking in because they find out it's some really delicious cheesecake French toast like this past week that everybody kind of went nuts over, and they're in there trying to get the French toast, well, those people that made reservations and followed the rules and are coming in at 1 o'clock, there's no French toast for them. Does that make sense? A little bit?
Yes, Ms. Morris.
Along those lines of the overlook, we can get the specials in the pub, but we can't get the regular menu. Does that make any sense to anybody?
It makes 1,000% sense. I will love to explain it, and I will explain it as many times as I can. That kitchen is not designed to do a large menu for a large amount of people. That kitchen is designed to do an extremely efficient menu for a large amount of people. It's meant to be a clubhouse, which if you've been in country clubs and been members of country clubs, you go in and the clubhouse is kind of your little go-to place for drinks. You've got a nice kind of inclusive menu, and then generally in the bar, you'll have kind of like a snack menu. So that's what we wanted to do. Our footprint was shrunk when we first developed that kitchen, so we had to change it on the fly. All that patio seating and all the seating out there is beautiful and wonderful, But if we have 100 people on the inside ordering off that large menu, and we have 100 people on the outside ordering off that large menu, I don't have the room to store enough product to feed 200 people off of that large menu. I have enough room to feed 200 people off that smaller menu, and then enough for 80 to 100 people on the larger menu. But I don't have the cumulative size in my meat drawers and the coolers and everything else to make it happen. So that's exactly why.
Another question. I appreciate very much nutritional information. That's really great. And maybe with the next time you do a menu change in the pub, could you put something on there that's a little more healthy so there is an option for some of us who are trying to watch?
Well, I think we've got a couple salads, but yeah, I mean, for the most part, it's,
The cans and the.
yeah, but we can ask for all that on the side. My experience, I tried to make my menu healthier down here in the Water's Edge this time. I feel like I have been beat up. I put a veggie wrap with hummus. I sell maybe 5 of those a week. A lot of the products like that just don't sell, like a small crudité tray or something along that line. We're just throwing product away. I know it's not the answer you want, but that's the reality of, the situation. And I don't mind taking an egg in the face every now and again for trying something different, like the vegetable wrap and changing the coconut shrimp to a healthier version and things like that. But yeah, it'll be something I'll explore, but don't be surprised if it's not exactly what you're looking for. It might be a modified version of something to kind of lighten it up. Does that make sense? Okay.
Yes, this young lady been waiting a minute. Sorry, thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Anyway, I appreciate the work that you do, and I know sometimes no good deed goes unpunished. But I just have one question about the nutritional piece, and I really do like that and look at it. But when I looked up a sandwich the other day, it was in ounces. So is the nutritional piece that you put for sandwich like the whole sandwich or the half a sandwich?
It depends. It's all kinds of different things. Usually it's for a whole sandwich. It'll say half sandwich if it's a half sandwich. But I mean, common sense needs to be involved too. Like if it says that it's 3 ounces and you know that what you're eating is a lot bigger than 3 ounces, then that might be a half. Whitney's been handling all this for us because it literally takes her a full-time job, 40 hours a week, to be able to put in what we've been putting in.
Okay, I guess I just have never seen the sandwiches ounces, and I couldn't
Yeah.
make that correlation.
Well, that's the way we have to put it in the program, because it needs to know exactly specific weights of what everything is to tell you, okay, 4 ounces of pork is, 350 calories, or sometimes a half a cup of apple cider vinegar has this much sodium. So it needs a number to quantify what it actually is. Does that help any?
I'm gonna say one thing, since you used shrimp, the coconut shrimp, I did get an email and I shared it with Chef about a month ago. Some of our residents are like, can we get 2 skewers? You're more than welcome to get it, because one resident wrote, it's an appetized portion. Anything that's on the Water's Edge menu, if you want more portions of it, all you do is let your server know, and we can accommodate that. We'll
Careful there, Joe Louis.
What do you
Careful with that, man.
Such as?
I don't know, but I know there's an exception.
Okay, well, now you heard it from the executive chef, but be specific.
I want 8 coconut chicken skewers on my plate.
No, we said 1, Chef.
No,
One
you
resident
just said that anything you want extra of,
we're not gonna, nobody.
you know somebody's gonna have family in, and they're
This
gonna be
the
like,
family-
I
this our
want
family quarrel."
the shrimp, and I want 20 of them.
No, I don't think. nobody-
Antoinette, will it happen?
Oh, my goodness. But if you want an extra entree portion size, that's better. Just let the server know, and they'll come find me, Chef, or somebody
Yeah,
in charge.
we have a lot of people that specially request a small amount of vegetables or a smaller, or sometimes, yeah, it's gravy's on the side, everything on the side. It's just, yeah, it's like a grocery list to go through a table.
Yes, ma'am, Ms. Busey.
First of all, I love the nutritional information. Thank you very much for that. I have 2 other questions. One, can you order pub items in the dining room up at the get dinner. We waited for an hour and 20 minutes for our dinner the other night. But
Which restaurant was you in?
it was the first one,
Which restaurant for an hour and 20 minutes?
and it was just a long, long, long wait.
No, you cannot get the pub items in the dining room, because then well, if I can get the pub in here, why can't I get that in there? And it just, Pandora's box, and you know how that goes. And as far as dinner taking an hour the other night, what night of the week was it, do you know?
It was unfortunately Kevin's first night, and it's not his fault, but,
Do you remember that night? Was it?
I don't, but I know that's been a concern, ticket times of how fast the food is getting out, and that is something that we're working consistently on. And at any time, if it's more than, I would, max 25 minutes to get our plate, just ask for a manager. There's days where, the food is coming out a lot quicker, and then there's days where, we may have so many tickets coming in at one time where things are getting slowed, or something may have been missed, or to us, it may not, look presentable, so we may have to recook it.
And
But
there's
there has to be that
one thing too that I can say on that, and it's really the only thing that should push ticket times out. We've been tracking our times. I haven't heard about that particular incident, and I do apologize. We will work
Sorry.
diligently to
I forgot.
make sure that we get those on track, and that's one of the reasons why Kevin's gonna be here. The only thing that I've seen at the clubhouse that really adds stress is everyone follows procedure and makes their reservations and everything, but the problem is everybody sits and drinks until they decide, okay, now we'll order. And we'll go ahead and we'll space out all those tables 15 minutes. But when that first table sees someone get food, everybody wants to order. So we're getting 9 tables ordered through at one time. Well, if you're number 9 in that order list, you're falling back behind, because, it's meant to be, 3 tickets in there at a time that they keep working. And if you and that's any kitchen, not just up here, if you go beyond 5, 6, 7 tickets, it starts becoming a trickle-down effect where there's just no way to cook that much at one time. So you've got to kind of cook what you've got and then go on to the next tickets. But that's one issue that I've seen up there, and I don't know how to correct it. It's just the whole social aspect of it. I tried to do a lot with this menu to make it a little easier for pickup and fire, where there would be nothing on the menu except for a well-done strip steak that should take anything more than 20 minutes. And I think people can notice on that menu that it all looks like pretty quick kind of grab-and-go food. But yeah, I promise we'll keep working on it. That's
Yes, sir, Mr. Miller.
How are you coming on the residents' recipes?
That's something that Donna suggested last week, and I thought it was a fantastic idea. Number one, because I don't have to be involved with it. So that makes my life a lot easier and makes me happy. And number two, it's gonna be really cool. It's gonna be so fun for you guys to turn in a recipe. She was talking about doing a little tasting with whomever's recipe it was earlier in the week to make sure that the details were kind of finalized and not trying to make somebody look bad. If they've got a chicken Kiev recipe and you make it up and they taste it and go, oh God, no, that's not what that should taste like. We've got that buffer built in there so we can go, okay, well, what do we need to tweak? But yeah, that's going to be so much fun. I really think that's just going to be a fun little way to kind of get everybody involved and possibly get some stuff that they haven't had in a long time. So, you got this, I'm just throwing this out there, a tomato aspic that you haven't had in 20 years, and you're like, man, I remember making this, it was great. Well, you turn it into Donna, and maybe that's the side one week is the tomato aspic. So it'll be fun. It'll be real fun.
Yes, ma'am.
I have 2 compliments. The first one, the cherry cheesecake French toast, I have no words. I mean, delicious.
There's a reason why we never put the nutritionals of that up.
I don't want to know. It was delicious. The southwestern corn that was on the water's edge a couple weeks ago, that was delicious.
Oh, good.
I'd see that again.
I'm glad. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
On the menu, I see you have GF or gluten-free. Some of us are lactose intolerant, and I'd like to know about that. Okay, you know, when you have a cheeseburger, yeah, forget, I know that. But like in the soups and the sauces, don't know if there's cream or milk in some of them.
And that's what we use our servers to communicate. There comes a point where we have to pick what we're gonna indicate, because I've got so many food allergies here that I could literally have probably 15 things next to every menu item, for nuts, I've got so many people here that are allergic to black pepper, that I don't use black pepper. I've got more people allergic to black pepper than I have, gluten-free people. And then the dairy, and then cheeses, and yeah, and soy, and there's just eggs. There is no way for me to notate every possible thing that could be wrong. The gluten-free was something they did before I got here. They've had a couple celiac people, and that still seems to be kind of a food trend. I think we only have 4 celiacs here, but we've got 30 people that I send the gluten-free menu to. I don't know how that works, but yeah, it's tough. It's just something that we're gonna have to just communicate. You just don't be afraid to use your voice and ask, and we'd be happy to tell you.
We as servers do a lineup twice a day, once for lunch and once for dinner. So we are informing our coworkers, which is our staff, what's inside the foods. We even go over the menus with our staff each meal. So the server should know if it has dairy in it, if it has onion in it, if it has garlic in it. So the server should know that. If they don't, I really want to know what server told you they don't know. So, thank you.
Your servers are lovely.
Well, I tell people every day I'm a blessed guy, because, I mean, we got a lot of teenagers who's passing through, but they put their best foot forward, and I'm grateful. Even including the clubhouse, I can't negate them. Our teenagers really rock for us. Antoinette, how about your style?
Internet's gotta go, and I'm not letting her, and it's driving her crazy.
Anyone have any
She's
other
gotta get
questions?
Everything's cold in the bistro anyway, they just said so why do you need to go heat it up?
I had like 45
Well,
minutes
with that
last
said,
night.
I, Joe Lewis, and speak for Kevin, Antoinette, and Chef, and Joseph, we appreciate you all's patience. We appreciate everything you all do for us, and your understanding when we do drop the ball sometimes. So if you want us to make your dining experience better, if it's not correct, you have to speak to us. Let us know. Don't feel like it's a burden. That's what we're here for, to try to get it right. All right?
Yeah.
It's nice to have tablecloth.
Well, thank you, thank you.
And salt and pepper, and the buzzing.
All right, go Antoinette, turn in your buzzer.
Well, thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Well, she is. Thank you all very, very
Thank
much.
you so much.
Love you, appreciate